Hello, today we'll look at the concept of file management. If you've watched the previous video on folder management, you'll understand what the Windows Explorer is, so I'll quickly make that appear. Here we have the Windows Explorer. While using the Windows Explorer, you may have to create files. These are also called documents, and these files are basically your work that you've put together. I'm going to use a version of Word. In this version of Word, I've got a blank document. It says Save Me there. It doesn't have a name. It's got a default name instead. It's not a name I'd like to use. So I'm going to save this just now. I can hit Save or Save As. I prefer to use Save As. And once I hit Save As, I want to save onto my computer. And there's computer there. And then after that, it gives places I've been before, or I can use Browse. I'm going to use Browse to look at the computer. And by default, it takes us to the Documents folder. Inside the Documents folder, I've already created some other folders I want to use. I want to save this document inside my IT Apps folder, but also inside my number 1 folder, but also inside my B folder, but also inside my C folder. And if you look along the top here, it says Documents, IT Apps, 1BC. So I've created lots and lots of folders, and it's in this C folder I'd like to save this file. Obviously, the letters and numbers I've used aren't very representative, it's just a quick example. I think I'll call this document something slightly useful. I'll call it Assessment. Its default is a Word document. There's lots of other types there, and I'll hit Save. When I hit Save, nothing seems to happen apart from the fact we come back here, and now it says Assessment at the top. I'm now going to close this Word document and go back to here, back to the Explorer. Inside the Explorer, I know where my folders are. I've created them before, and it's there. My IT Apps folder's here. Notice as I click to open it, it expands the structure. These little arrows here represent things within the structures. I'm going to expand all these numbers 1, 2 and 3. If you look along, you'll find the only one left is B, and the only one left after that is a C. That's where I save my file. So I've got a 1 folder, a 2 folder, a 3 folder, an A and a B with a C inside it, a D within 2, and an E and F within 3. So I've expanded the whole thing so I can see it. Inside C is where my file's located, and it's there. Assessment. Obviously, if I double click that now, it would open up in Word. What I can do, obviously, is right click, and I can hit Rename. I can hit Delete. We've used these things before. What I think I will do is I'll make a copy of it. So I'll copy this and place it inside the number 3 folder inside F. So it's now here. Paste. I'll rename that to something else. I'll call this Old Assessment. And again, if I was to double click on that, it would load up. Now that is a copy of the original, which means it's no longer the same. The original one is still here, and it's called Assessment, so I now have 2 separate files. On a side note, if I want to see a structure like this, and perhaps produce it as evidence, you can expand it as I said. You use this bar here to move left and right to see more or less. And if I expanded the folder structure, I can press the print screen key. I can then go here, and inside this box, if I type in Paint, it comes up with the Paint program. And because I've hit print screen, it's now copied it. I can then hit Paste, and there it is. What I've taken a copy of this whole thing. It's maybe too much detail. Maybe I just want a piece of it. So I click away using one of these other tools, and then click back on Select, and Select lets you select areas. You can use Crop as well. I'm just going to use this area here, and that basically proves as evidence that I've done some work. I've created a bunch of folders, and I'll hit Copy, and then because the picture is quite large, you go to Properties and change the pixel width from 1 and the height to 1. Makes it nice and small, and hit Paste, and the bigger copied area fills it out. Right, that's one way of doing it. It's not been saved yet. I can hit Save, and you can save it as a picture. It goes to the Pictures folder by default inside the Libraries. It's PNG by default, and I'll just call this Evidence, or Evidence 1 in case I get 2, 3 or 4 pieces to save. So I've now saved that screen capture, or that print screen. And if let's have a look about, oh, where are my pictures? There's lots of places I could look. I go to my Documents, no, it's not there. Documents is not there. Where is it? Oh, remember, it's in Libraries under Pictures. Yeah, it's there. Look around. I had something else already there, but there's my evidence. If you double click a picture, it'll load up eventually. In this case, it's using a default package called Fireworks. You might use a different package to see the image. Thank you.